All right, here with Jim Dixon, managing editor of D3Baseball.com. It's at D3 Baseball is the Twitter, the X handle, and then Lance Marshall, our ABCA Division III committee chair. So this is new. We've never had coaches on the preview before, so Lance is the first. It's gonna be awesome.
Excited to be here.
Hey, how many more
Thank you for
years?
having us.
Yeah, how many more years do we have the contract with Lake County?
One.
One more. Do we know where it's going after that?
I'm going to York, Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool. Very cool. They got a pro park in York?
They do. I'm trying to think what the name of the park is, but
Okay. Who are they affiliated with?
um, York is, I think, with the MAC. Either the Freedom or the Commonwealth.
Okay, cool. Lance, what are your thoughts coming out of the convention?
I think it was great to reconnect with so many friends, make some new friends, meet some new people. That's always the best part of the convention for me is kind of reconnecting with the old ones and making new friends. And I felt like the ABCA was probably its all-time best. I mean, there have been some great conventions, but it just keeps getting better every year. The clinics are great. The addition a few years back of the Expo Theater really broadened the horizons of the topics and everything. So there's so much information out there, and it's fantastic. And honestly, the older I get, the more I really enjoy just the conversations in the hallways about certain topics with other coaches and seeing how they do things. But no, I really enjoyed the stay. I thought Columbus was a great location for it. Lots of restaurants and places within walking distance, and convention center was convenient. So it was an awesome weekend. And my assistant coaches really enjoyed it, and I heard a lot of positives from a lot of people.
I liked the Expo Theater this year. It's the first time we've actually had it in a recessed area. I felt like it was better in that respect, where it was kind of right outside of the exhibit area so you could get to it. Hopefully we can try to keep that with our post-convention meeting. We talked about that. If we can try to get the Expo Theater right across from where the exhibits are in a recessed area, I thought it was better for people being able to hear, but also for traffic for them in the Expo Theater area.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with the traffic. You can walk out of one and into another without taking much of a break. And like I said, I thought it was really well done. Great thing.
Jim, what did you think come out of the World Series last year? I mean, I felt like Whitewater was really close to maybe going back to back.
Well, I'm not. They obviously had the best team. They batted over 400, so nobody was going to slow them down. I think really the story is not that Whitewater won; it's just what Messiah did, and certainly their coaching style turned a lot of heads. And so I think that we're going to see some, like we always see in Division III, of focus on the student athlete. I think even more focus on the student athlete turned out to be in big gains for Messiah. So I think that is the top story. But Whitewater certainly just blew through that tournament, and it's just amazing how many runs they scored.
Have you gotten a chance to work through the preseason rankings yet?
We have. We're actually doing the preseason poll comes out on Wednesday. So we're in the midst of voting. So I actually have a preliminary view of the polls showed up. So I can refer back to it.
How many of those teams that made it last year do you feel like are going to get back, if any?
It's hard to say. I don't know about Whitewater. Endicott has a real shot. Kane has a real shot at it. I don't know. I think beyond that, maybe Trinity. But there's a lot of good schools out there, a lot of good programs that didn't make it. Salve certainly does have a shot. Lynchburg has a very strong pitching team. So no, there's a lot of schools around the country.
Lance, when do you open up?
We open up February 20th down in Memphis. We're going to go down to Rhodes, and they're hosting a 14 tournament, so 1-9 every day. And we went there a couple years ago. Great hosts, terrific facility. Our team really enjoyed going down there and playing. We open up with, I think, at least two of those three were in the national tournament last year, and it's going to be a really tough, opening weekend, but that's what we're after.
When can you open up at home?
We will actually open up that next weekend, February, I think it's 28th and March 1, that window. We're going to host a little tournament down here as well. We may have to move a little bit of it to a turf field nearby, but it'll be another great opportunity. We're going to play some really, really good teams early on.
And Lance, for people who don't know, we're trying to get exhibition games switched for you all. How is that coming?
It's coming along really well. We actually sent the survey out to our coaches, and I think at this point the straw poll vote is 158-2 in favor of it. And for those that aren't familiar with it, the Division III baseball is allowed 2 exhibition games in the spring, and for those of us north of the Mason-Dixon line, we're not getting those in. It's pretty much never been played yet. Other sports are able to play their exhibition games, footballs and basketballs, because of different weather situations. So we've been working on the flexibility to move it to the fall if you would choose and your institution would choose. You don't have to, but just be more opportunities for student athletes to get competition days, more opportunities for us to evaluate, probably help retention. So it's been an overwhelming sentiment in favor of the proposal.
And Lance, you talked about it a little bit at the convention with the roster cap at Division I. Are you seeing more of an influx of athletes trying to come to Division III at your place? You are, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Quite a few. And the transfer portal is only part of it because some folks can't get into the transfer portal. You've got some Division III didn't require it until it was just voted on this weekend. And junior college and NAIA aren't part of the NCAA to go into the portal. So there are a lot of student athletes looking for their next home. And it's probably on the student athlete side, I'm sure it's very frustrating. There are only so many spots for a lot of players.
Jim, you have any dark horses to make it to Ohio this year?
I don't know, but it seems like every year there's a rookie team who's never been there before. So it's sort of, if I'm going to put a bet on a new rookie team, I like Central. They have a really strong program, a lot of seniors. I like Penn State Harrisburg. They haven't been there, and they've been knocking on the door for a while. So, no, I would have to say of the 2 teams that haven't been there before, those are the 2 that have the best chance, I think.
And Jim, you're coming to Greensboro for their tournament?
I'm planning on being Greensboro for.
What are the dates of that? I need to put it on my calendar.
It's like the middle of February. It's like the maybe the 21st, 22nd, something around there. I haven't paid much attention. I'm still sort of just getting the preseason stuff going through. I got started about a month earlier than I usually do, so it's been pretty relaxed. But
any players
still
to
a lot
watch?
of work left.
Who do we need to pay attention to players-wise? Have you gotten any notes back on players?
I think it's the same old group. One of the things that I've really seen looking at rosters and stuff like that is that I think we're done with COVID. All those extra eligibility years are going away. So if you redshirted, got your extra year, you might be able to still be playing today. But I'm seeing a lot fewer graduate students on rosters. I'm seeing a lot more teams saying we have a younger team. So I think that the coaches who could see this coming and was building his team to have more of a veteran team on this year, they're going to do very well.
And Lance, do we get to the 5-year where you got 5 to play 5? Do we ever get to that for everybody? Because I know D2's thinking about doing it, and I think NAIA is thinking about doing it.
Right. I know it was proposed or at least discussed in both of those national meetings, but I have not seen it pass yet. I don't know where that's headed.
What's your perspective on that? I'm not coaching anymore. What's your perspective on that as a coach? Does it clean things up from a redshirting standpoint, or is it muddying the waters?
It might. I think it would really benefit programs that have or institutions that have graduate programs. If you think about folks that are leaving, we have a lot of student athletes now coming in with their sophomore, junior status because they've taken so many college credits or dual enrollment credits coming in that they're graduating in 3 years, and we get more and more of those, which lends itself to the institutions that have graduate schools and graduate programs are just going to benefit from that more so than folks that don't.
I always think of it from the coach's perspective, like you have a freshman on your team that probably is not an everyday player, but could you get him in a bat here and there, or a pinch run, or a pitcher, get him a midweek opportunity where you're not worrying about the red shirt anymore? We always worry about retention. I think that helps with retention too, because you might be able to mix a freshman in every once in a while, even though they're not an everyday player for you or pitcher for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Get them an opportunity in a game, even decent spread game or whatever the case may be. They get on the field to play and get that experience. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. It's certainly not a boring time to be involved in the NCAA. There's interesting policy afoot.
Lance, who do you feel like is going to be good coming out of the Midwest?
Traditional powers. A lot of these folks have been really good for a long time, and what I'm seeing is more and more competition. I think there are more and more people that are able to challenge, kind of the old school, I guess, so to speak. The people have been traditionally very good at the circuit. I think our conference will be very tough. The SLIAC will be very tough. The CCAW is always tough. Northern Athletics Conference is always real good. So there's a bunch of good baseball being played by us, and it's going to be a really fun year, I think.
What about you, Jim? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot more competition, just because we're now seeing some younger players. We're seeing, as the coach said, those schools have graduate programs. I'm looking here, and Denison is in the top 5 program, but they have no graduate program. So if they want to hold on to a player for another year, they can't. They have to go off, and they usually end up at Case Western. The Case Westerns, the Johns Hopkins, those, as you say, folks as graduate programs have really been able to sit there and accumulate a lot of experience.
Denison was one of my official visits, by the way.
No, yeah, well, I
top
mean,
5. That was one of my visits. I went to Denison.
yeah, that program is slowly built up, and so they keep getting better and better each year. So now we're expecting the same things from them. They've had a lot of losses. Their pitching staff lost some pitchers, lost some good hitters, but so is everybody else. I think the best team coming out with experience is Kane. The coach there has done a great job of, even though they lost the pitcher of the year, there's still plenty of people behind him. And so he has a very experienced squad. So if I had to think if the 2 teams, I'm thinking Kane and Endicott for me are my top 2 teams.
Lance, what have you enjoyed about Division III? I think it's the purest form of baseball that we have.
Yeah, I agree. They're playing for the love of the game, and I think that there's all the things that are going on in some of the other levels are not necessarily taking place, at least not at that level in Division III. And I think we continue to keep the emphasis on the whole student athlete, not just the athlete part of it. The student piece of it is really critical. My favorite part of this whole process forever has been going to former players' weddings and seeing them, and they're still hanging out with 12 or 15 of their college teammates and getting to meet their kids and all that. And it's a long-term thing. It's fun. Baseball's awesome. Love coaching it. Love being around the guys. Love the relationships. But that's exactly what it's all about, is the relationships. And, it's just so fun to look down the road and realize where they are headed. Because baseball doesn't last forever, no matter how good you are. At some point, somebody tells you you're not good enough, and time to move on. I think developing them and helping them, our greatest trophies are them out in the community, being good husbands, good fathers, coaching those youth teams, and all those kinds of things. So that's probably my greatest source of pride and joy in this whole thing, is looking down on their success.
And you get to be an athletic director, which I've said it a million times. We need more coaches as athletic directors. And that's nothing on the ADs out there, but I feel like an athletic director that coached is going to be a better athletic director that didn't coach. So that's just my personal view.
Well, all I can say is it's certainly been helpful for me perspective-wise, because I think even talking with our other coaches, I mean, I've probably been in a lot of those situations that they are in. Not all of them, but it's helpful. Just the benefit of experience is pretty significant.
Any shout outs you guys want to give before I let you go?
I want to echo what the coach says. Division III is about the purest form. In fact, that's what got me into doing this 30 some odd years ago. So it's what drew me in, and what continues to sit there. And I just love to see the style of play. And I've talked to a lot of coaches, and they all focus on one thing. It's the players, the player development. Um, the game will be there for 4 years, but you're going to be a lifetime of the experiences you get. And so just a great experience for the athletes. And as I said, it's a really pure thing. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to the season. Looking back on my list, Rowan is another team that expected to do well. Claremont Mud Scripts, they lost their big hitter, but they still got a lot coming back. So, as I said, it really is wide open for the number of teams that are going to be able to compete for the championship.
Cool. Lance, any shout outs?
Well, first, Jim, I would say thank you very much for everything you do to promote Division III baseball. I mean, you guys are phenomenal, and that has come so far from its initial stages. And I just think you guys do a lot to promote. I know that our student athletes, along with plenty of other student athletes in baseball, really appreciate the baseball piece of it. So thanks for what you're doing, and keep up the great work. And Ryan, thanks for your help with the proposal and the ABCA and everything.
That's John. That's not me. That's John. Shout out John Litchfield. He's the best at that stuff. People don't really know John that well. He is our chief of staff. He's so good at that. The survey stuff. I am not good at that stuff, and John's really good at it. So I appreciate John. Shout out to John if you're listening, because he helps me so much with that side of it, because I am not good at those things.
He's awesome. Jim, I was at the convention and I needed some information from Ryan, and I texted him. Probably too late. And at about 4:03 a.m., I got a response.
I'm an early morning riser.
Adam, baby, they were getting after it really early. So I appreciate everything that Craig and your entire staff did. I mean, you guys put on a great show.
And we are here to help. We're here to serve. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve. And so any level of coaches, we're here to serve. And whatever our coaches want to get done, we'll try to get done. We'll push to try to get things done. So thank you guys for jumping on with me. This will come out next Monday. So appreciate you guys. Yep. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Ryan.